young individual who wants to start your own business, but you haven't done so for various reasons? Well, then this show is for you. Young.Entrepreneurs.Speak is a show that seeks to highlight young, vibrant, energetic entrepreneurs in Ghana. It focuses on their entrepreneurial journeys as well as talks about the successes that they have chalked. Now, you know, time spent with friends and family is always a joy. At times you wish you could stay in those moments forever, but wishes, they say, are not horses. One sure way of capturing those moments, however, is by either videoing it or taking a picture. That brings us to today's guest on Young Entrepreneurs Speak. She captures those memorable moments we always want to remember at the click of a button. Hello, Charlene.
Hi, Naifa.
Welcome to Young Entrepreneurs Speak.
Thank you.
So very quickly, just tell us a bit about yourself, a quick introduction for our viewers, who you are and what you do.
Okay, it's really simple. My name is Charlene and I'm a photographer.
That's simple. So what was really exciting for me when I was looking for a guest for this show was actually the fact that you are a photographer, but you're a female photographer. Because when I looked on the Ghanaian landscape, I just saw loads of males who are into photography. Yeah. So do you get that a lot? What's the reaction when people realize that you're actually a girl who takes pictures? To
be honest, I'm kind of over it because coming from where I'm from, like in the UK, it's not a big deal. If you're, it's pretty normal. But here it is very male dominated, but there are quite a few other female photographers around. It doesn't really have an effect, I think, on the clients because they book me for my work. And what I make sure I do is if I advertise, I'm not advertising me as a person, I'm advertising my work. Yeah. So for example, on my Instagram page, you won't find any pictures of myself. It's literally just my work.
Oh, okay. How did you get into photography? Of the millions of things you could have gotten into, why photography and how?
How did I get into photography? In my family, we've always taken photos. When I was much younger, my brother and I used to live here and my mom used to live in London. Okay. So, you know, like every Sunday we would take pictures so we could send them to my mom. So anyway, fast forward, I went into university to study architecture. But because my A-levels, I had mostly like science-based subjects, the university felt like I needed a more artsy kind of background before I could get into architecture. So instead of doing like a 3-year degree, they put me on a 4-year degree where my first year was like a foundation into the arts. Okay. So we did like everything from like creative drawing to animation to photography to like 3D rendering, just to give me a bit of like an artsy foundation before I actually started architecture. And then during that year, that's when I actually discovered that I really enjoyed the photography aspect. But even more than that, I actually enjoyed the animation aspect and the filmmaking aspect. So then I changed my course from architecture to digital arts and moving image. So that's how it kind of started. Yeah. So digital arts and moving image was mostly film and animation. So my favorite type of animation was stop motion animation. So not like your regular cartoons, more like, do you remember Pingu?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Right,
Pingu.
so you know, like with Pingu, it's like he's like a clay penguin, and then you have to kind of move. Basically, to get that, you need to, so like if you want his arm to move, you take his arm, you take a picture, you move it again, you take a picture, take a picture, and then you put all the pictures together, and then you get his arm moving.
That sounds tedious.
I know, very tedious. So that's how I got into photography, through animation.
Well, you said growing up, your family was always taking pictures. Yeah. So I guess that means you didn't necessarily have any restrictions when you told them this is what I actually want to do.
No, my family is I'm grateful for the type of family I have. They're really cool. They don't really care what you're doing as long as you're not breaking any rules and you're happy and you're not coming to, you know, stress them out for anything. So, you know, and as long as you're earning a decent living, whatever you want to do is fine. I'm sure if I said to my family, oh, you know, I want to give up photography and I want to start, I don't know, grooming dogs. As long as there's you know, there's something to it, they're fine. Yeah.
In your opinion, would you say Ghanaians have accepted photography?
There's still a long way to go. A lot of people still don't respect the profession. Maybe because they don't understand the hard work that goes into it. So they don't respect the profession. They think it's just easy to pick up a camera, push the button, that's it. It will take a while to get there, but we are getting there.
So I like the fact that you said people think it's easy. They think it's about picking the camera and clicking the button. That brings us to your journey. Tell us a bit about this whole entrepreneurship journey that you've embarked on.
Okay, so I finished uni. It was great. I started working for a company in the UK called Transform Your Images. I loved it. It was a print-based company, but we also did photography. And then they kind of went bankrupt. So the company had to shut down. And then at that point, I was like, I really like what I do, but now I think I want to do it for myself. So do I do it for myself in London, or can I do it for myself in Ghana? So at the time, one of my friends was getting married. She's been my best friend for since I was 3. So she was like, okay, well, I'm getting married in October. Since you haven't found a new job yet, come down to Ghana, see how it goes for 6 months. If you like it, then you can stay. If not, then obviously you can always go back to London. Yeah. So that's basically how it began.
Viewers, you've been listening to today's guest on Young.Entrepreneurs.Speak, Charlene Asare, the pint-sized photographer based between Ghana and the UK. We've heard how she started her journey, how she got into photography, and how it is really not that easy to pick up a camera, click a button, and get that perfect picture. Let's see her put her words into action. Charlene, over to your studio. So we're here in Charlene's studio. We're going to understand what exactly it entails to come up with those beautiful pictures that we see on your social media page, and all the events that you've covered.
Yes.
And yes, and I'm going to be your muse for today. Very excited about that.
Yay!
So just take us through. Over to you.
So this is the space I work in. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my friend Sly. Because I'm between here and London, I don't see the need to have my own space because I'm hardly here. So this is Sly's space, and everything that you see on my page that is done in the studio is literally shot here. Okay, so for you, we're just gonna do a really simple headshot. So I only need one light, so I'm gonna get rid of all of these and we'll just use this one here.
When you say headshots, what do you mean?
So a headshot is like a portrait. So it's literally your head up to your neck and then your shoulders. So that's what we call headshot. And
you using just one light is because of?
There are no real rules in terms of photography. For headshots, there are no rules as to whether it has to be 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights. It's totally down to your preference. Yeah. Right now, I just feel like 1 light, so 1 light. Cool. So I'll move these out of the way.
So whilst you're doing that, if you can take us through, I know, I mean, we joked about having these challenges needing to be fit and stuff, but are there any challenges you faced on this journey?
One of the biggest challenges I've faced, I would say, is equipment. So Ghana doesn't really have a shop that you can walk into to fix your camera if it's broken. Insurance companies don't necessarily take you seriously, so it's hard to get insurance for your gear. I'll give you an example. Maybe a year ago, all my stuff got stolen. And after that, I tried to find insurance. Okay, so because in London it's easy. I'm a photographer, this is my equipment, insure my stuff, how much will it cost me? Yeah. They'll give you a quote and then you pay for it. Yeah. Here they're like, oh, it's too risky. They don't know where to fit us.
Probably not a space
in. Exactly. So that's one of my challenges. Getting stuff repaired is also another challenge. But luckily for me, because I go back and forth, it's easy. When something is broken, when I go to London, I get to sort it out. But the biggest challenge is getting equipment.
would you say has been your greatest achievement, or which work have you done that was the most amazing thing for you?
So this is, again, is very hard to classify because there are things that I've done that give me like personal joy, and there are things that I've done that might not give me personal joy, but like my bank account is like, yay! So it's hard to, yeah.
Let's start with personal joy.
Personal joy, I think it'll probably be like the first newborn session I had by myself.
Okay.
So if people that know me, they know I'm not a very like fragile person. I'm very like, just, yeah. So like with newborns, you have to be really like careful and patient because, you know, they're on their own clock. If they want to pee, they'll pee. If they want to poop, they'll poop. If they want to sleep in the middle of your shoot, they will sleep. So my first newborn shoot, which was a success, was my personal favorite moment, yes. Okay, so this is basically what I do when I'm done with a shoot. I upload the images. Okay. I've backed it up. So now I'll go through and remove what I'm not happy with, sure, and then send the rest to the client. So I'll just look through all of them really quickly.
So which software are you using to do this?
So this is Lightroom.
Okay, why?
I use Lightroom because it's user-friendly. It helps me see everything at once. I can create catalogs, groups, and depending on the job, I can actually edit everything in here without having to take it into Photoshop. Photoshop is for more specific editing. Okay. Lightroom is for like general correction. So maybe if, you know, I want to brighten up the image a little bit, if I want to darken it. Okay. But if, for example, like if we zoom in here, if I want to get rid of your spots in detail, I could do a little bit of that in Lightroom, but I prefer to do that in Photoshop because I have more control. Okay. This is Photoshop that we're in now. Okay. So I'll just basically maybe go over the parts that I would edit. Yeah. So whenever I start editing, like I do like a little map. So definitely I need to like clear up the background. Yeah. So that has to be done. If I zoom in, I'll say, okay, maybe tidy up your neck area. Okay. Get rid of the mic. Okay. Then maybe like just like skin touching a bit. Yeah. Your teeth are amazingly white, so I won't have to do anything there. You don't have any crazy creases in your outfit or anything like that, so I don't really have to touch that. Okay. Yeah, so I always have a map of like what I'm gonna work on, because sometimes you'll be surprised, you tend to forget. Yeah. So I'll get rid of that map and then always refer to it when I feel like, when I'm done. Yeah. I
can imagine how the work will look once you're done. Can't wait to see it.
You'll be amazed. It'll still look like you though. Okay, after a little bit of retouching and cleaning up of the background, this is the final image we took in the studio of Nefa.
So how easy is it for someone to get through to you? What's the process if we want to book you for a session?
Well, on my Instagram, you have my phone number or you have my email. Okay. So it's really easy. You can call me or you can email me. My phone number is my WhatsApp, so I have a lot of people also WhatsApping me as well. So it's easy to get through to me. I do tend to ask people to email me. That way there's a record of the conversation. And then also I kind of take people more serious as well.
Point to note.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's been a really good session. I'm sure there are loads of hopefuls out there, young people. They don't necessarily want to get into photography. Maybe they do, but then they want to do something on their own. So what advice would you have for someone like that who's watching you right now and is inspired by what you're doing?
I would say research your field. If you want to do something, it doesn't have to be photography. It could be photography, it could be cleaning, it could be whatever. Research your field. Make sure it suits you and make sure you're doing it for the right reason. So don't do it. Don't think, oh, I want to be an event planner because plenty of people are getting married, so I'll get plenty money. Yeah. You know, research your field because there are challenges with every profession. Research your field, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and don't be shy to reach out to other people who are already in that field for advice, for tips, tricks, etc.
Okay, thank you. Well said.
You're welcome.
So this brings us to the end of another episode of Young Entrepreneurs Speak. My guest for today, as you can see, pint size, making me look like a giant, has been Charlene Asare,
Yes.
photographer extraordinaire. Thank you so much for having us.
It was great being on your show.
As she says, research your field. Make sure you get in touch with people who are already in that field because they can give you good advice. And once you have a passion, just follow it.